Daniel Brooks, a former Navy medic, drove his aging pickup through a quiet mountain highway after finishing another exhausting shift at the local clinic. Beside him sat his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, humming softly while drawing flowers inside her notebook. Life wasn't easy, but Daniel treasured every peaceful moment they shared together, despite years of hardship and loss. As twilight settled across the winding road, Lily suddenly looked through the passenger window. "Daddy," she whispered urgently, "that lady's shoulder hurts." Daniel glanced ahead and noticed a luxury SUV resting against a guardrail. A beautifully dressed woman leaned painfully against the driver's door, struggling to stay conscious after what appeared to be a minor crash. Without hesitation, Daniel pulled over safely. Grabbing his old medical bag, he rushed toward the injured stranger, while Lily stayed nearby. "I'm Daniel," he said calmly. "I used to be a Navy medic. Let me help." The woman nodded weakly, unable to hide the pain spreading across her shoulder and upper chest. Daniel carefully examined the injury without causing unnecessary discomfort. Years of military training guided every movement. "Your shoulder isn't broken," he explained gently, "but you've likely dislocated it during the impact." The woman clenched her teeth bravely while Daniel stabilized the joint and called emergency services for additional medical assistance immediately afterward, without wasting precious seconds. Lily knelt beside the injured woman, offering her favorite stuffed bear for comfort. The stranger smiled through tears. "Thank you, sweetheart," she whispered gratefully. Watching the little girl comfort someone she'd never met reminded Daniel why he always taught kindness before anything else. Compassion often healed wounds medicine alone could never completely reach. Within minutes, paramedics arrived. They praised Daniel's quick treatment, explaining his actions prevented the injury from worsening. Before leaving, the woman quietly introduced herself. "I'm Victoria Hayes." Daniel politely nodded, unaware she was one of America's most successful billionaire CEOs. To him, she remained simply another patient deserving care and respect during a frightening evening. The following morning, Daniel returned to his small clinic, expecting life to continue normally. Instead, several black SUVs stopped outside. Curious neighbors watched as elegantly dressed assistants entered, carrying flowers and a handwritten invitation. Daniel opened the envelope carefully, surprised to find a personal request from Victoria, inviting him and Lily to visit her headquarters. Daniel hesitated, accepting. Fame never interested him, yet Lily smiled excitedly. "Daddy, maybe she's feeling better because you helped her." Unable to disappoint his daughter, Daniel agreed. Together, they entered Victoria's towering corporate headquarters, where employees greeted them warmly. Every hallway reflected success, but Daniel remained humble, treating everyone with equal courtesy and quiet respect. Victoria welcomed them personally inside her executive office. Her shoulder rested comfortably within a sling, though her smile appeared brighter than before. "You saved me yesterday," she said sincerely. Daniel shook his head modestly. "The paramedics finished the job." Victoria laughed softly. "That's exactly why I wanted meeting you again. You never seek recognition." During lunch, Victoria asked Daniel about his Navy career. He quietly explained serving as a combat medic before leaving the military after losing his wife to illness. Since then, every decision centered around raising Lily with honesty, compassion, and resilience. Victoria admired how he carried painful memories without allowing bitterness to define his future or character. As conversations continued, Lily wandered toward family photographs displayed across Victoria's office shelves. Suddenly, she stopped before one framed picture. Her cheerful expression disappeared completely. "Daddy," she whispered uncertainly. "That's Mommy." Daniel turned instantly, his heart pounding. The photograph showed his late wife smiling beside a younger Victoria during volunteer medical missions years earlier overseas. Daniel stared silently, overwhelmed by disbelief. "How do you know Sarah?" he asked quietly. Victoria lowered her eyes. Tears gathered instantly. "She was my closest friend before we lost contact," Victoria admitted softly. "We worked together helping refugee families. When she became sick, I searched everywhere. I never found her before she passed away." The room fell into heartbreaking silence. Daniel realized his wife had spoken often about a generous friend named Victoria, but never mentioned her surname. Meanwhile, Victoria carried years of guilt, believing she'd abandoned Sarah during life's darkest chapter. Neither understood fate would reunite them through a roadside accident many years later, under completely unexpected circumstances together. Victoria slowly reached inside her desk drawer before removing a sealed envelope. "Sarah gave me this shortly before we lost contact," she whispered. "She asked me delivering it if I ever found you." Daniel's trembling hands accepted the faded envelope carefully. Tears blurred his vision before he even unfolded the handwritten letter, waiting inside patiently. Sarah's letter described endless gratitude toward Daniel's unwavering devotion throughout her illness. She wrote about dreaming Lily would grow surrounded by kindness instead of sadness. Finally, one sentence broke Daniel completely. "If life ever reunites you with Victoria, please forgive us both for losing each other. She was my sister in every way except blood." Daniel lowered the letter slowly, while tears streamed freely across his face. Lily hugged him tightly without speaking. Victoria quietly cried beside them, mourning years stolen through misunderstanding and silence. None of them expected a simple roadside rescue would uncover forgotten pieces of family hidden beneath painful memories and unanswered questions from the distant past. Over the following months, Victoria became part of Daniel and Lily's lives naturally. She never tried replacing Sarah's memory. Instead, she honored it through kindness, generosity, and friendship. Together, they established a charitable medical foundation providing emergency health care for struggling families. Fulfilling dreams Sarah once shared passionately with both of them before illness interrupted everything. Daniel continued treating patients with the same humble dedication he always possessed. Victoria quietly funded clinics across underserved communities without attaching her name publicly. Lily happily volunteered whenever possible, proudly telling friends her mother taught kindness, while her father and Victoria taught courage through actions rather than speeches or headlines, celebrating generous achievements together every single day. One peaceful evening, they visited Sarah's favorite lakeside bench carrying fresh flowers. Daniel smiled gently toward the sunset. "She brought us together again," he whispered. Victoria nodded through grateful tears. Lily squeezed both their hands tightly before saying, "Mommy knew love always finds its way home." Those simple words healed hearts broken for far too many years forever.